Welcome back, everyone, to episode 25 on what should be the last episode of my Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time playthrough. In the previous episode, we made our way into Ganon's Tower and unlocked the passages of each of the six elements that the sages protected. Basically, it was the passages of forest, fire, water, shadow, spirit, and light. We also picked up the last upgrade for our character in the entire game, the gold gauntlets, which allow us to throw big boulder, high size, like monolith type things, and use that to go back outside of Ganon's Tower, open up the final path leading to a great fairy fountain, and got the final upgrade, which was to double our defense, which is why all of our heart containers now have a white border as opposed to a black border. So we have everything that we need to finish up the game, basically. We have the light arrows, we have all of our weapon and item upgrades that were possible in the entire playthrough, including the biggest quiver, which we got 2 episodes ago, I guess. So, yeah, all that's left is to go into the tower, Ganon's Tower, face Ganon, and save Hyrule. There we go. I do think there's a little bit of gameplay still here. Of course you did. Get out of here. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh, didn't get him. That didn't do much damage. It seems like something where we would be able to see a hidden item in the room with the Mask of Truth, or the Lens of Truth, rather. Gotcha. Alright, so let's put on Lens of Truth. Just take a quick peek. Nope. Nothing. It's real faint, but you can hear Ganon's theme song in the background. It's playing. Oh, you know, not these arrows. We want the light arrows. You're going to have to use those, probably. Also, I may have to get rid of the Bigoron sword for the final fight, because I believe it plays kind of like Phantom Ganon. That was the game's way of giving you a hint at what you would need to do to finish the final boss, which involves volleying an energy ball back and forth using your Master Sword. This also seems like something they'd be hiding an item behind, like with the mask or the Lens of Truth. No, nothing. Alright, whatever. Whatever. Nope, did it again. Peace. Now let's head inside. Oh! Oh, what up, Lizalfos? You want to face him, idiot? They're actually kind of smart. Kind of smart. But not smart enough. Oh. Oh! But you turn and face him, idiot. Quit jumping, you dick. So our final dungeon is going to involve us doing trials against enemies, is my guess. We'll get tougher and tougher levels of enemies, so, like, we'll fight the Lizalfos, and then I would guess if the wolves aren't involved, maybe the Stalfos would be next. And then I wouldn't be surprised if we had to fight Iron Knuckle again. If not, 2 Iron Knuckles. Yep, there we go. Oh, missed. Oh! Aced you! You know what else I could do to help make this a little bit easier? Oh, these aren't working. Huh. Alright. Never mind. I just have to be patient. I don't think that ever helped me, but why not? Hit him with it. What? You jumped in fire. You should be hurt. Oh, wow. I was about to say, what the hell is in the chest, then? It is the dungeon key? Why do we need a dungeon key? Okay. We came... I think we came in the other door, and this is the one that leads forward? Yep. I think they may have made the backing music just a little bit too soft. It's so quiet. There they are. Knew it was gonna happen. I fight one at a time or two? Well, just one. Uh-oh. Or not. Oh, crap. Ha-ha! One down. Oh, come on, target the other one, idiot. Oh, I wanted the hearts, but I wasn't ready. Oh, and you're dead. Give me your health. Bad health. I see him. 3 hearts. Yum. Alright, this is probably where I would, if I had to guess, put away the Biggoron sword. Awesome as it is. And take out my hero's weapon, the Master Sword. Because we're going to have to use it to fight the final boss of the game. Save. And save in game as well, why not? Probably should have done it the other way around. Whatever. Oh my god, he's going to build the final boss out of Lego. The floor looks like, right? Health? Health. Health. Can I get some health? I want to get health! Not arrows. Is this health over here? Health. Yes. There we go. Yes. Health. Okay, just pick one up. Oh, magic, yes. Magic, good. Health. No. Health! I want health! Health, 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 health. I hate it. Why can't I just get one damn heart? There we go. That's all I wanted. Thank you. And let's climb to the final boss. That's not what this is. What the hell is this? Okay, well, let's not climb to the final boss. Let's get to the top and then just go, why did I do this? I hate my life. Ah! Oh, cool, you grab it on the way down. Okay, I guess we go in this door. That was pointless. It's getting darker and spookier as we get to the top. I'm so scared. Oh, now it's getting light again. And now it's getting dark. Is this an infinite staircase like in Super Mario 64? Okay, no, it's not. Alright, let's do this. Let's put the arrows on. We need those. I'm sure. Coming for you, Ganondorf. Oh! Oh, it's stuttering real bad. Uh-oh. Zelda. Oh! My hand! It itches! He's got a bad case of impetigo. So does she. And then the final one. Okay. What the hell was that? I guess that was him supposed to be getting his health back.
The Triforce parts are resonating. They are combining into one again. Two Triforce parts that I could not capture on that day 7 years ago. I didn't expect they would be hidden within you two. And now, finally, all the Triforce parts have gathered here. These toys are too much for you. I command you to return them to me.
No!
Lunk, I can't help you! Because of the waves of darkness, I can't get close! I'm sorry, Lunk!
I don't need it. Oh, maybe I need it. Oh, crap! What the hell was I supposed to do there? Fight over. Ow! Well, that's what was wrong. I hadn't given Lunk his concussion yet. Now he's ready to fight. I can't see straight! Alright, well, these pots don't have anything in them anymore. Do I have to hit him with an arrow? Maybe that's what I gotta do. I'll get up top and he'll immediately knock me down, and then I cry. I was kidding! Oh, no, you don't. Ow! Ooh. Okay. Come on, shoot at it. Give it your best shot, kid. Oh, I swung early. You doofus. Alright. Well, we know what we gotta do. Oh, come on! I hit it in time, you dick. I'm gonna die trying to get this timing right. I hit it! Screw you! I better save before I do die. Ass. I don't find this funny at all. I don't know what I did wrong there. My sword was swinging. Brick. Damn it! Why does it slow down before it hits me? Of course it did. You're a dick, dude. It keeps changing speeds. It's like going way faster sometimes than others. Dick. That's what you get. Oh! Oh, he was just trying to push me off the platform before. That's why he kept doing that attack. I was like, why isn't he doing it now? Because all he wanted was that clear space in the center. The final fight in the entire game is a game of Pong! Hooray! What a hero. Okay, quit showing off, Lunk. Damn it. That's what you get for showing off in the final fight. God damn it, he's throwing it fast again. Three is enough? Three's not enough. I bit my tongue again. I really wish I'd get this tooth replaced, because I hate that I keep biting my tongue. Yeah, get out of here, prick. Am I supposed to shoot him while he's stunned like that? I bet that's what it is. I'll find out in a second. I'm gonna try it. Oh, missed. God damn it. I can't even hit him. That's exactly what I was supposed to be doing. I deserve that. I am such a moron. I'll tell you what, we hadn't gained any progress since the save point, so let's just go back. Now at least I know what I have to do. We make 2 steps forward and 1 step back every damn time. How about I go to the one of the sides that has a lot of space instead of the little tiny platform? Yeah, right here, where I'm not going to fall off if I make one stupid mistake. God damn it. Oh, and then I botched. Nope, I didn't match. Yep. Just a curiosity. Will the game let me do this with the bigger sword? I bet it won't. Oh, it does! Why are we messing around? Let's use this. Better sword. Oh, watch that. Gotcha. And... I blew that. Oh, get up, idiot. Jump over. Of course, he didn't have his damn sword out. Moron. Got a hell of a lot more range with this thing when you use the bigger sword. Gotcha. Gotcha. Sit on it. But it's not over yet.
The great evil King Ganondorf, beaten by this kid.
Oh, I saw a little blood.
Lunk!
He's not happy. Careful, Lunk. Your boots are made of cowhide. Those glass shards are going to cut right through it.
Sorry, I farted.
Oh! Oh, look, the crystal she's trapped in is pink because she's a girl. That's called stereotyping. Ganondorf, pitiful man. Without a strong, righteous mind, he could not control the power of the gods, and... Uh-oh. What were you saying? Lunk, listen to me. This tower will collapse soon. With his last breath, Ganondorf is trying to crush us in the ruins of the tower. We need to hurry and escape. Please follow me. She goes right off the edge. I was kidding. She goes right off the edge. Should I put on my boots? My scoot boots. What up? Okay, go. Go, kid. 3 minutes! Good lord, woman, I could have done this faster without you. She uses her arms over her head move. Passed down by her family for generations. Not fight, come on. Okay, I didn't need these boots. They're not helping. I thought they'd help, but they didn't. Alright, let's go. The name of that special move is Touchdown. So if I fall off there, does the game just end? They just say, he died, whatever. This part probably didn't need to happen. It feels like they're just padding the experience out at this point. And look, I'm enjoying the gameplay up to this point, but what did this add to the experience? Because it's not difficult, and it feels like the clock is really more just an intensifier that isn't really intensifying the experience, because no one's actually fighting. We're just running. All right, I spoke, and then they did this. Yeah, lock on, please. Thank you. Alright, get. Oh, of course. Alright, another one. Thank you, Lunk. Now let's hurry. Oh, whoa, big pile of hearts there. Thank you. Alright, do it. And touchdown! And Link goes for the extra point, and it's up, and it's good! Final score, Zelda 7, Ganondorf 0. I guess that would be end of the half. Whatever. The hell was that? Why did you deke to the right and then go left? Or whatever. Touchdown! Yeah, this part of the gameplay is not good. Alright, do the thing. I feel like she could have just used her magic to teleport us to the bottom. Or I could play the ocarina. At no point does this game play... Of course you did. Alright, get off me. Dick. Gotcha. Take the magic. Didn't need it. We gotta be getting close to the end, right? There it is. That's the exit. Come on. Iron Knuckle pops out. Haha! You have to fight me! I made it. Not really that close, either. The worst thing that happened was I decided to fight the Re-Dead. No, my favorite bridge! Zelda looks up and says, Dad taught me how to do touchdown in that tower. And it all went away in a big puff of pink smoke. Sorry, kids, but Hyrule Castle is going to have to be rebuilt. That's all right. Hyrule Castle was more of an idea than a place. No, it was literally a physical place. It's where you were raised. It's over. It's finally over. Yeah? Want a kiss? You got a big nose and all, but... Lunk, I'm sorry. Oh, it's, Navi.
Lunk, I'm sorry I couldn't help you in the battle before.
That's all right. I hate you. Huh? It's not over yet, kids. Get in there. Hey! Hey, what is this? I was an idiot, sorry. He's surging with evil power. And now we're gonna have to get extra growly. A little bit like that, yes. His final form. Dun, dun, dun. The game's getting a little jagged up. Polymega's emulator, not perfect, but okay. It's alright, I don't like the Master Sword anyway. Biggeron's better.
There's no way he's going to hold me back again. This time we fight together.
Yeah, but I don't have a sword. Go get the sword. Alright, so are they just not going to let me use any weapon? Oh, they'll let me use a weapon. Alright, so what do you got to say? Of course. I have a feeling it has something to do with this. Ah, that's not working. So I gotta get the sword. Alright, well. Get some power-ups from him. Hey, yo, Zelda, give me the damn sword. Pick it up. You're standing in the periphery. Pick it up and throw it to me. Hey, yo, sword! Ow! Oh, I gotta hit his tail, I guess. Oh, yeah, because there is literally a weak spot on his tail. Alright, well, whatever. Owie! Oh, no, you don't. Hey, I'll take the arrows. Oh, missed. Damn it. Damn it! Get to the other side, you idiot! Ah, missed this one. Oh, God. Can I just shoot any arrow at him and do this, or am I going to have to do it with the magic arrows? I'm out of magic, so we're about to find out. Hey, can you come over here and hit this thing right here? Give me some magic bottles, maybe? I'm here! Smashy, smashy! Yes, that's what I wanted. Oh, I'll be fine, kids. See? Now, let's find out if I was right, if you just use any. Just regular old arrows and see if this works. Nope, I do not. Okay, this ain't working. Princess, can you throw me the sword? Throw the sword. It's right there. Maybe I'm supposed to hit it with, like, the hammer? I wonder if that's it. That was it. Lunk, the Master Sword is here. Hurry up. Yoink. Oh, ow. Ow, dumbass. Well, owie. Time for a bottle. Don't mind me, Ganon. I'm just gonna take a big chug of this red stuff in the middle of our fight. Bleh. Oh, God. Ah, I didn't hit him. At his arm or something else. Alright, I need you to destroy another box or pillar or something. Give me some magic back, if you wouldn't mind. Like this right here. Right here. Hit this. Hit it. Thank you. Oh, health! Can I scoop one of them with the bottle? I didn't mean to do that. Alright, well, there you go. Got it! Is there another thing I can get him to smash that'll give me some magic, maybe? How about this? Smash this, please. I need magic. Yes, there we go. Ow! Nope, I need more magic. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Alright, we're good, we're good, we're good. gotcha. Is that the end? Or we gotta hit him in the face with the... Nope. She's blasting her wisdom juice at him. Her wisdom kata. I'm using my power to hold the evil king. Use your sword and deliver the final blow. Do it. Booyah. Oh! Six sages, now! Touchdown! She's spraining her ankle.
Ancient creators of Hyrule! Now, open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm!
Okay, good. I don't have to do 6 different voices here. I don't know if I can do that. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, of course, Gerudo was the last one. She was like, all right, whatever, I guess. They created a black hole. Oh, that's great. We just destroyed Hyrule. Good job, guys.
You... Curse you, Zelda. Curse you, sages.
I don't know who was speaking there. Well, now I do know.
Curse you, Lunk! Someday when this seal is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants! As long as the Triforce of power is in my hand.
Okay. He didn't want to say anything else. He's like, we're good. Zelda, we're kind of hovering. There's no ground below us. This feels really dangerous. Thank you, Lunk. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world, for a time. All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. I was so young, I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the sacred realm. I dragged you into it too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Master Sword to rest and close the door of time. However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed. Give the sword. Lunk, give the ocarina to me. Can't even say it right. As a sage, I can return you to your original time with it. What about the sword? But I really like this ocarina. It was pretty cool. Sorry, I haven't brushed my teeth in a while. It's gonna stink. When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for us to say goodbye. You're right, it does stink. Now, go home, Lunk. Regain your lost time. Home, where you were supposed to be. The way you were supposed to be.
Honk!
Wait! I forgot my cards! My trading cards! Thank you, Lunk. Goodbye. The end. There is I think a little bit more cutscene wise that we'll see as the game wraps up here, but that's it. That is Ocarina of Time. Still an incredible experience. 27 years later. I don't think it's perfect, and we will get into that when we do the final review for the game. I do want to let the game play out its final moments here before we actually go into that a little bit. Couple of things just kind of off the top of my head while they're going through all of this. And I'll talk about this in the final wrap of the game. I remember the overworld feeling like it was so big and there was so much to it. And going back to it 27 years later, it feels tiny, man. It feels like there's just nothing there. I think we talked about it in the opening when I was going over how the production of the game went. They had considered at one point making this more like Super Mario 64, where they had a center hub castle, and you just kind of went off into different spokes of the world. And at some point, they decided they were going to try to make it more of an interconnected map that you actually played through instead of just going into Portal A or Portal B to end up in wherever you were supposed to go, like a dungeon or a town or something. It's the right choice to make it more interconnected. Super Mario 64 worked because in the storytelling, the whole world was just kind of converted into these paintings that you had to jump into and save stars to reopen the castle. Here, it would not have worked. They have someone singing there? I don't remember that. I also think the dungeons, early on, I could see where there was a lot of creativity to them, and towards the end, especially the last two dungeons, I don't know if they felt as creatively dense as the earlier ones did. And it may just be because at that point you've already seen most of the cool tricks that they had up their sleeves, and that makes sense. Usually, if you're going to try to hook someone with the creativity or ingenuity of some of the puzzles, you're going to want to do them earlier rather than later so that players are really just kind of agog at what they're seeing. I think it's a nice touch that Epona's kind of let loose and going free on her own there. Oh. What are we about to see? Whee! Oh! Oh, they're all celebrating. Talon and Malon, or Talon and Ingo are celebrating. Ingo, because Malon's not in that shot. Old town of Hyrule's banging out. Well, not banging, you know what I mean. They're not having sex. Oh, the Kokiri left the forest. They're all going to age now. I don't know who the guy in the center there is supposed to be. Hey! Malon aged up. That's strange. That's not supposed to work. I thought this was supposed to be the past. Maybe only Lunk got sent back to the past. The trader, the fisherman, one of the shopkeeps, Cuckoo Lady, Bigoron, couple Gorons, the dancing couple. Oh, the Gerudo showed up. They're all celebrating together. And the Bigoron fell over and killed half the town. Ah, look at that. We got Mido hanging out with King Zora. He still looks pissy because, of course, sorry you didn't choose him. What are you going to go complain about now, you little bastard? Oh, is that one of the... Yeah, okay, the fairies are dumping their fairy dust all over everyone. So they can fly as long as they remember happy thoughts. This isn't Peter Pan. That's not how it works. Oh, special thanks to the Nintendo of America debugging staff who found all the problems. Oh, the sages. And Daruni is like, get off my head! Actually, he would say it more like,
Get off my head!
Rauru wasn't there. I didn't see him. Back in the Temple of Time. And this is how Irish Spring soap was made.
I'm a kid again. Cool.
I get to grow hair in funny places all over again.
Well, see you later.
She's like, I don't need to help you anymore, you little bastard. I'm out.
Huh? Well, guess I'm done here.
Oh, Navi went to go ring the bells. She got caught in one and she keeps hitting it. Bong, bong, bong. Bong, bong, bong. Not done yet.
Hey, Zelda, I broke in again.
So does she remember anything? I bet she doesn't. Oh, and the picture that they took there aged horribly. Should have used better film stock. All right, there it is. That is the end of The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. And of course, they had to capitalize Zelda, but nothing else. Shows you how they feel. All right, let's go ahead and do the final review for the game. Like I said, I wrote out the notes like I do usually with most of these longer plays so that I know exactly what I wanted to talk about at the end here. We'll do a round of the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good is that the game plays like a greatest hits of previous 2D entries in the series, borrowing ideas from each title and improving upon them. The dungeon themes and layouts are pure A Link to the Past, but enhanced by virtue of being pure 3D environments. The enemies are a mix of designs from every title, but with heavy or tense swordplay, borrowing heavily from The Adventures of Link, or The Adventure of Link. The trading games are straight out of Link's Awakening. The long play trading game that you had in that one, they tried to follow in this game, maybe not quite as extensively, but getting bigger on sword was basically a gimmick that they had taken out of Link's Awakening. The time travel gimmick is a twist on A Link to the Past's Dark World, where events play out differently depending on whether or not you approach as a child or adult Link. Well, the biggest and most obvious change was the jump to 3D polygonal graphics. Everything about the design was drawn and refined upon from previous games. The time travel gimmick introduces an interesting idea in which Child Link and Adult Link have different inventories that only they can access, giving two similar playing characters different means of interacting with the world. Although both can make use of the bombs, the ocarina, bottles, and magic, Child Link has exclusive use of the Deku items, well, some of them, the slingshot, the boomerang, and the masks, while Adult Link has exclusive use of the hookshot, the bow, the megaton hammer, as well as the stronger swords, tunics, and shields. While it would be easy to say that Adult Link has the edge in terms of equipment, Child Link's boomerang is superior to the hookshot in terms of targeting enemies, and the Deku Nuts, which actually they can both use, are nearly impossible for enemies to evade. So there's advantages to using both characters. For whatever reason, I forgot that the Deku Nuts and I think the sticks you can still use as Adult Link. The slingshot is the main thing that Child Link gets to use. The game world, and especially the dungeons, felt massive when the game first came out. Nowadays, they seem comparatively quaint in both size and complexity, but in 1998, it truly did feel like a developmental leap in overworld and dungeon design. The puzzles in the dungeons are brilliant and build upon prior information to challenge players' critical thinking skills. An early standout is the very first dungeon inside the Deku Tree. The game teaches the player that passages blocked by spider web can be opened by burning the web with a lit Deku stick. Later, you find a hole in the ground blocked by web, but you can't swing a lit Deku stick low enough to actually burn it. So what's the solution? You roll over it with a lit stick. Not only does this puzzle build upon existing knowledge about how you light sticks to burn things, but it makes use of a movement ability that you will use later in the game for breaking objects and enemy evasion. Good design makes use of every tool in the player's arsenal, and Ocarina of Time excels at this. This is the first Zelda game in the series where the characters felt like living, breathing, emotionally responsive characters as opposed to static fonts of exposition. When Link first encounters Zelda, she's clearly distraught over her prophetic knowledge that the man genuflecting before her father is going to betray Hyrule and seize power. And there is nothing that she can do to stop it. Then the boy from her vision appears, agrees to work with her to stop the evil man, and she lights up like a Christmas tree. The dialogue and interactions between characters carries emotional weight that they couldn't show in previous 2D games, whether through lack of experience or focus on gameplay over story. But Ocarina of Time set the stage for all future games in the series to add gravity to the storytelling. The game smartly makes use of both the ocarina and your horse, Epona, to ramp up Link's mobility as the game progresses, keeping traversal of the game world snappy. It would easily ruin the game if you were constantly running back and forth across Hyrule Field for simple tasks if you didn't have a horse to speed the process up, or eventually ocarina tunes that literally teleport you right outside the next dungeon. The game gives you plenty of time early on to explore the overworld and find secrets, and then later, once players have sufficiently unlocked songs, shuttles Link to his next objective quickly. And that's on top of bean plants that levitate Link above and beyond the normal path, and smartly designed shortcuts like the quick descent path down Death Mountain Trail. The challenge should be in the ascent of that kind of area, not in the descent. The bosses are a treat in nearly every instance, requiring players to make smart use of the tool that they acquired in the dungeon to either weaken or damage the enemy, as well as reading their attack patterns to find openings. The standouts here would be the fight against Baronade, the big jellyfish creature inside of Jabu Jabu, the Phantom Ganon fight in the Forest Temple, which is a mechanic that you use later when you fight actual Ganon, and the twin Rova witches in the Spirit Temple. They're creative and they make good use of the items you find to defeat the enemy. The Gold Skulltula Challenge is a great example of making a side quest broad enough to cover the entire game and easy enough to earn the most valuable rewards without obsessively scouring every single environment. The final reward for finding all 100 Skulltulas is nice. You gain access to what is essentially an endless supply of rupees, but it's not critical. The best rewards are earned early and relatively easily. You have to pick up only 50 of the 100 gold Skulltulas to collect every other item besides the rupees, including a very valuable heart piece. This is the optimal design for such a large-scale side quest. There's an incentive to collect all of the Skulltulas, but it's not game critical. And it's clearly a lesson that Nintendo has built upon, as you don't have to find every Korok seed to get the lion's share of the rewards in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. They provide diminishing returns as your collection increases. As far as the bad, get ready guys, because yes, I do think there are some things that they didn't do great in this game. We talked about this during the gameplay, but the Ocarina of Time represents the beginning of what I would call the infantilization of Zelda games. Infantilization? You know what I'm saying. Early on, characters regurgitate your next quest objective over and over and over. Don't know where to go next? Just ask Navi, or Saria, or Zelda, or Sheik, or Exposition Owl. Or don't bother, because someone is going to stop you in your tracks and tell you whether you wanted them to tell you or not. The plot was not so dense with side stories and activities that I would lose track of what I was doing nonstop, but the game made damn sure that I didn't forget. It installs the intelligence. If I need the help, I'll ask. Don't pester the player. Second, And I get that this is very much a Japanese design trademark, but does every character have to emote so broadly? Nuance is treated like a dirty word in this game. No subtle reactions allowed. You have to scream everything you feel. The good guys, the bad guys, and everyone in between is apparently going through puberty. It took Nintendo years to learn their lesson and stop marketing this franchise primarily to little kids. We're talking about 2 decades for that to happen. I would say it took until Breath of the Wild before they toned this nonsense down, but it really started here. What purpose in the story does Exposition Owl actually serve? He shows up, tells you how to do a specific action or where to go next, and then he disappears. It seems like someone at Nintendo decided that they didn't have enough talking heads telling the player how to play or where to go, so they literally force you to interact with a giant bird that spoon feeds instructions to you. And I do mean force you to talk to him, because the very first appearance in the game is right outside of Kokiri Forest, and it is an unavoidable encounter with him. As annoying as Navi was, this was a far more egregious mistake. Speaking of Navi, Navi is obnoxious to an absurd degree. Every time you lock onto an enemy, she just has to say,
Hey!
Or,
Listen!
Or,
Look out!
Every 5 minutes, she's bugging you for guidance to the next objective. Hitting a switch that doesn't do anything you want? Don't worry, Navi's there to tell you why not. All of this, along with Exposition Owl, points back to my first major point of the bad. The developers babied down the game so little kids could play it too. It's insulting. They wanted their game to be for literally everybody, and frankly, that is not possible. I get how absurd it sounds to say that any piece of media has too broad a level of appeal, but making a game for everybody also means it appeals to nobody. Case in point, for the adolescents that laughed and clapped their hands as Darunia danced around his room having the same level of fun in the water temple. Or Poe hunting. I bet they weren't. Choose a lane, Nintendo, please. Don't market just to kids. I get it. You want to appeal to as many people as possible, but you need to choose who your market is when you're making games like this. Nintendo can be absolutely brilliant at balancing a game's difficulty when they choose to, but there are some absolutely ridiculous spikes in difficulty that are confounding when they happen. Case in point, the layout of some of the ghosts in the Poe hunting side quest was flat out unfair. For one particular target, you're expected to shoot at a Poe that runs down a hillside while you're stuck in place behind a fence, and a Poe's head obscures your shot. For another, you have to carefully align a Poe's appearance between a narrow corridor just outside of Gerudo Valley, because the Poe will disappear the second it touches a wall. This part of the game was not fun to complete, and hiding an item as potentially critical as the fourth bottle behind it was a terrible idea. I would also highlight the Graveyard Race as a particularly frustrating design, considering how poorly the camera tracks around corners and how readily Dampe drops fireballs in your path. They should have found a better way to do that one, because frankly, the camera just gives you too many problems to complete it. Given how closely tied these two games were in development, I shouldn't be surprised that they would share a movement system, but Link handles a bit too much like Mario in Mario 64 when it comes to turning. Specifically, Link turns like he's a vehicle with 4 wheels, not a human being that can stop in place, turn in the direction he wants to move, and then start walking or running that way. I don't get it. I don't know why they thought locomotion was so impossible to stop and turn when you're trying to move Link, but there were plenty of times when I was trying to pick up an item and it seems like he just wanted to dance in a circle around instead of just picking the goddamn thing up, and that does get very frustrating. Nintendo gets a lot of credit for basically inventing the lock-on system for action games, and deservedly so, considering how revolutionary it was, but that doesn't mean it was perfect. Z-targeting, as I think we all refer to it, seems to only work if the camera, not Link, is facing the target. If Link is sufficiently close to the target, and Navi is actually hovering over the target, and even then, the lock-on is more hit or miss than it should be. There were plenty of times where I was facing the right direction, camera was facing the right direction, and Link was maybe 5 to 10 feet away from a target, and Navi wouldn't lock on. If it was a non-critical element like a sign you wanted to read or a summon point for the scarecrow, it was annoying but not game-breaking. If it was an enemy, and especially a boss, that becomes an issue that I have to point out. And that was the case more times than I care to experience in a game. Since we're on the topic, there is a noticeable amount of delay in between Z-targeting an enemy and being able to attack them. I took far too many hits from enemies because I locked on and had to wait like a half second to even unsheath my sword, or pull out the bow, or boomerang, or hook shot. Look, I get that it may sound like blasphemy to speak ill of a system as important to gaming as Z-targeting was, but man, there were some issues that we all seem to overlook when speaking of this game in past tense. It should have been a lot faster in terms of response time when you would lock onto a target. And it just wasn't, it's not fast. It really isn't. By comparison, modern day, you would never have the issues of hitting a target after you lock onto them that you had in this game. Mantling and jumping to and from ledges is bizarrely finicky. In particular, the game seems to have a hard time determining the player's intent when trying to jump from a ledge. You look straight ahead, assuming you want to cross a gap by leaping across it, and Link will short the jump and fall down for some reason. Look down, assuming you want to fall to the floor below, and Link will do a gap-spanning leap to the other side. Whatever my intent actually was, the game seemed to decide to do the opposite. The ascent up the ledges of Death Mountain Trail and trying to recover the items inside the coffins of the Shadow Temple became tests of my patience because of the game's inability to read the player's intent when jumping off of or up to ledges. I don't know what they could have done to fix that, but it was very annoying. And this last one really annoys me. The boomerang is one of Link's most iconic items, essentially a super item in Ocarina of Time, since it locks onto targets about as perfectly as you could ask, and damages or stuns nearly everything you'll face in the game. And when do you get this amazing tool? Oh, at the end of Child Link's portion of the gameplay, like 5 minutes before you turn into Adult Link and lose access to the item basically for the rest of the game. Oh, but don't worry. Nintendo gives you expendable fire and forget Deku Nuts that stun enemies. Oh, and a slow-moving hookshot that also stuns enemies, but usually misses the target at a distance when you're locked on. They sabotaged the best item in the game and stripped it of all its value. Please, Nintendo, name the idiot who made this call and fire them! If it's Miyamoto, send him packing. This is inexcusable. I hated that. That should have been an item that Adult Link and Child Link could use and make the hook shot do something different. I wanted to use the boomerang so bad, and they just neutered the hell out of it. As far as the ugly, the textures have the trademark N64 blur and lack of detail, though not nearly as bad as they were in, say, Mario 64. There were clearly surfaces that Nintendo prioritized more detail in than others, like, for example, the bricks that we see in the walls here for the castle. But if you're talking N64 generation games, you have to mention the blurred textures. That is just a part of the deal with these games. Particle effects were also a mess that tended to slow the frame rate down to a chug. In particular, every time you came to a sudden stop while riding Epona, her hooves would kick up dust clouds, in the field, and the N64 could just not handle that much visual noise. That's a cute detail that Nintendo probably could have removed and no one would have complained about. Consider how neat the lens flare is from the rising sun shots, when you would have the sun coming up over the horizon and you get a little lens flare. We saw that plenty during the gameplay. But if it also slowed the game down, would anyone complain about its absence if Nintendo just got rid of it? No, it's extraneous fluff. Impressive fluff, but still fluff. I think clouds of dust coming up off the ground, probably not necessary. If your system can't handle it without it slowing down, you don't need it. I never understood this one. The developers deemed it critical to add a red dot to the hook shot, presumably because precision is so important to its use. So why wasn't there a dot or reticle or any visual marker on screen for the slingshot, the bow, or the boomerang. Was precision not critical to these items as well? And I don't buy that they wanted to make sure the shooting gallery was more fair. It wouldn't have been impossible to remove a reticle for one specific gameplay element. Ultimately, this ends up in the ugly because the solution, as childish as this is, would be to just mark the center of your screen with a small dot and then boom, you have a reticle. Not to mention, the game does tend to give you the slightest aim correction when you're close enough to hit a target. It's subtle, but it is there. I just think they should have had a reticle for all of the items that you have to aim with. The stealth segments of the game are limited, but that's probably a good thing because they were not fun. The first one would be entering Hyrule Castle, or at least the first time you do it, and it's relatively easy as the guards are spread out and follow simple patrol routes. And frankly, the locked camera angle suggests they were going for cinematic flair over gameplay, so it doesn't feel as much of a mess as future segments. The next one is the Sacred Woods outside of the Forest Temple, where the moblins patrol, and they seem to hear every sound you make, so you have to strike them quickly to eliminate them. And I found that section more annoying than fun. I'm glad the moblins made an appearance in the game, but this wasn't how I wanted to see them. And finally, Gerudo Fortress and the lack of precision camera control for looking around corners made it a frustrating mess. Too many times I'd fidget to position Link so the camera would aim just enough around a blind corner to look for guards. By the time I finally hit a good angle, a guard would spot me. If your camera lacks control or contributes to mistakes from poor angles, stealth should not be a part of your gameplay. This only makes it into the ugly because stealth is such a small part of the game and the penalties for mistakes were not game-breaking. I found it very strange that the game has not one but two upgrades for Link's diving ability in the scales, but also gives you iron boots and a Zora tunic, which render the scales obsolete. This feels like an oversight. Someone started placing valuable items underwater, realized that you don't get the tools to reach them for a very long time, and players would likely forget to check these places, so they decided to throw in the scales last second to increase your diving depth. It would be like wasting your time trying to find and acquire Epona, only to give Link a dirt bike a little bit later that goes 3 times faster. And yes, I know Nintendo made a dirt bike DLC for Breath of the Wild. You get what I'm saying. Why undercut your own power-ups unless someone messed up and they needed to make a quick fix? The scales should not have been in the game. It was either the diving, the boots and the Zora tunic, or just the scales. You don't need both. Hyrule Field, as impressive as it was in terms of scope and size in 1998, feels very much empty in 2025. There's a few hidden goodies around the map, but mostly it's just a barren expanse between the 6 or 7 exits that lead to important areas. This is where the novelty of adding such a large 3D overworld ran into the reality of cramming it onto an N64 cart. They couldn't work around the space limitations imposed by their own choice of media. I'm glad the overworld map is there. Having a map pop up upon leaving a major area and just picking the next destination to appear in would not have been as memorable, but the result is an empty feeling overworld. I don't know what they could have done to fix that. Maybe have more actual missions take place in the overworld, but I don't know what exactly they could have done there. It is what it is. That's why it's in the ugly, because I don't think it necessarily broke the game. All right, let's go ahead and give the game a score. We do our score in Randars, 1 to 10. There's a reason why Ocarina of Time is hailed as the best video game of all time. It did so much to advance 3D polygonal video games that there's elements I may not have even mentioned that were either created or perfected in this game. Graphically, the game was stunning in 1998. Bosses receive cinematic camera reveals, and they crumble and dissolve upon defeat. Every dungeon looks and feels visually distinct, not just 9 mazes of identical rectangular rooms with different hues. Z-targeting revolutionized gameplay in a 3D space, making combat strategic. Positioning and exploiting openings suddenly mattered more than ever, and the player wasn't as likely to just flail on the attack button while standing next to the enemy. Although, yes, I did that a little bit during the play. You get what I'm saying. That could work sometimes, but enemies often shield themselves to encourage players to be more cautious and observe the enemy before attacking. It cannot be understated how important that was to video games. NPCs looked and act like real people with thoughts and feelings, not just static fonts of inane and often poorly translated chatter. The music in the dungeons did so much with so little. It's stunning how well the music worked in most places. I'd say the Spirit Temple didn't have great music. The true standouts were the Forest Temple and the Fire Temple, which were subtle but captured the mood of both areas perfectly. The mini-games were, for the most part, fun and rewarding. All of that said, and it pains me to say this, I have to knock the game for treating the entire audience like idiots with the over-reliance on unskippable talking heads that point the player to the next objective. Nintendo, you had the solution to this problem already in Navi and her short, simple hints that players could simply ignore if they wanted to, and you still didn't trust players to make it through the game unaided. Exposition Owl to the rescue! It really did make the game feel like it was aimed at young children, and that sucks. I bet they realized after finishing the first half of the game that Kapora Gabora didn't have a place in the story that actually made sense. And that's why you get a hint of him at the end of the game, right outside of Spirit Temple. So it's just so strange that they acted like he was such an important character, and then he shows up at the end and is like,
"Oh, you haven't seen me in a while. Hoo-hoo. Well, here's one last hint, and then I'm out of here. No reason why I'm here. Hoo-hoo."
It was very strange. All right, here's the score. Brace yourselves. I'm giving The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time a 9. 9 Randars, not a perfect 10. I don't do half Randars, and I would call the aggressive hand-holding a half-point issue. But it makes A Link to the Past look so much better when you consider that that game's hint system was just a tent with a fortune teller that gave you hints for a couple of rupees. In addition, while Z-targeting was such a great idea, and when it works, the gameplay soars, getting a lock-on was more finicky than I like, and that half-second lag between locking on and being able to attack the enemy was very frustrating. I swear, I lost more health to the Keeses, those bats, in this game than any other enemy, simply because I couldn't lock on until they were dive-bombing me. And between locking on and drawing my sword or slingshot or hookshot, they'd run into me. There is so much to love about this game, and it is absolutely still a good game to this day. I don't blame people for holding Ocarina of Time as their best game of all time, and it earned the accolades that it received in 1998 and deserved them. But I think Nintendo realized after utilizing the design of this game for Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess, and even to an extent Skyward Sword, that it was a product of its time, that there were things that didn't work as well as they did when this game came out in 1998, and that's why Breath of the Wild veered off in a new direction. The days of hand-holding and NPCs talking to Link like he's a toddler needed to end. If you feel this game is still a 10, you're right to feel that way. It was brilliant and innovative and a blast to go back to. But not everything has aged immaculately, and I have to score the game based on what I experienced in 2025, not what it felt like 27 years ago. 9 Randars. So close to a perfect score, but I do not enjoy being treated like a kid when I'm playing a game. Look, there's people who think that's charming, and I think Nintendo thought it added a lot of character to their game because when you get to the next major game, I don't know if I'd call Majora's Mask the next major game. I would say Wind Waker was the next one. They leaned into that 1,000 times harder. And by that, I mean, like, when you talk to the one and only, well, I don't know if he's the only merchant, but the major merchant in that game, Beetle, his over-the-top cooing whenever you buy something from him where he goes, "Oh, thank you!" Who were they aiming that kind of reaction to? It was clearly not adults. It was kids. And I hate that because it shows where they wanted to market this particular series. And look, I get it. A lot of people in the world, not just in Japan, not just in the US, all over the world, think games are for kids. That's nice. Go ask who still cares about this game. I guarantee you it's not little kids. It's adults. They needed to consider the whole audience, not just a part of it when they made these games. So yeah, 9 Randars. I love this game. I'm glad we went back to it and looked at it again, but I think there are some things that could have been worked on and improved upon before they released it. In particular, Z targeting, making the game's tone less childish and less handholdy. Get rid of that goddamn owl. He was not necessary. Again, I swear, all the spots where they put that owl, it's like someone who was playing through the game said, where do we go next? Well, I don't know. How do we fix that? Let's just have a character run in and tell them where to go. That's stupid. What else could we do? Let's make an owl show up and tell them where to go. Okay, why? Because it's an owl. They're wise. Okay, but what does the owl have to do with this story? I don't know. We're just going to put it in there. That's how it felt. That's what it felt like. And I get it. There was an owl character in Link's Awakening. Did we really need that character to carry over? I mean, what other games have an owl in it that you're like, ooh, Zelda isn't complete without an owl telling you where to go? It was stupid. I hated that character. I think they should have gotten rid of it. All right, that's going to do it for our long play of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is one of those ones that I didn't know for certain we were going to look at because I didn't want the channel to become just a Zelda long play channel. I'm happy we looked at it. I don't think we're going to do Majora's Mask. I don't know if we're going to do Wind Waker because I'm not certain I want to devote as long as it's going to take to finish that game because it's sizable. And I don't want to make this a Zelda channel, like I said. I do know what our next long play is. I've already decided. I haven't started recording it yet, but it is in the pipeline, probably starting sometime in December. We're going to take a couple weeks off around Thanksgiving so I can work on the recording of that particular series. And the new episodes for it will come out kind of like my previous long plays where they're only on Mondays. And then Wednesdays will go back to being Nubs RPG Wednesday episodes. That next game has already been picked and fully recorded. I think the total episode count for that was going to be 8 or 9 episodes for that particular long play. It's a game that I had never played before, and I'm very excited that I managed to make it through as quickly as I did. And it's a very old one, so if you're into older RPGs, you'll be happy to see that one when it comes out. Anyway, this one, as I predicted, is going to end right before Thanksgiving, and we're probably not going to have an episode come out the day after Thanksgiving because most people are either spending time with family or shopping, so probably not going to be much of an audience to watch an episode that Friday, but this will end the day before, so if you want to watch something on Thanksgiving other than football, you have the option up there. Again, if you're were new to the channel when this series started, thank you so much for making it all the way through the series to check it out. There's a ton of other long plays and games on the channel to check out. I did a complete playthrough of The Legend of Zelda and A Link to the Past. Those are also available on the channel if you want to check those out, as well as a whole raft of other long plays, complete playthroughs in one sitting. I've done quite a few Mega Man games, complete playthroughs, as well as some drinking games if you want to have some fun while watching me flail through a game getting progressively more and more inebriated. Whole bunch of stuff on the channel and plenty more planned in the future. So again, if you came to the channel just to check out this particular long play, thank you so much for watching. And we'll have another long play coming up in just a few weeks here. So that's going to do it for this long play of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. As always, I do appreciate each of you watching, and I will see you next time.